Right. So I'll kick off with the kick and finding my tempo. So also I have the same raw techno kick. I find yeah, it has a lot of amazing kicks. So I'll just use the same one. That sounds cool. So from here, I'll usually find my drum, yeah, the drum channel slash bus. This is basically where I can program stuff, and I will drag and drop my kick inside there. Cool. And okay, just rename it for organizational purposes. I usually don't care about organization until the last, like it's all about creating. But for this, I'll just do that straight go to the floor. I'll go with 126 BPM. Sounds cool. And what I also like to do is, yeah, this is mixing on the go. So what I'll do is I'll put it at minus 12 dB, just so I can get from the get-go start having that headroom, and then I'll saturate it. So I'll find audio effects. What I can use is, yeah, Drive drum bus. This is like Ableton's own inbuilt saturator that that I find useful for like all my drums. I usually like throw this in there, and I can, yeah, it has like algorithm settings. Yeah, and I feel it just adds that bit of information in the mids for the kick. I can't accurately hear it since I'm using my Mac speakers, but anyway, that's, yeah, basically the process will come through. All right, so we have a kick. What I'll go from here is maybe percussions or bass. I'm feeling bass, so I'll just get an operator that's like Ableton's stock bass thing, BST. Results. Yes. So, and from there, I'll try find a nice bass rhythm programming. I have two methods for techno. This one where it's basically I throw in random notes just to get the rumble, because all you need is the low end information. So I'm starting with the high notes because I won't really pick up the subs if I play lower notes, but I'll just transpose it and hopefully it will sound good. Yeah, that sounds cool. Also, apologies if the mixing won't be as good. I can't accurately again. So also, once I get to this point, is I'll want to saturate the bass as well. I like saturating just from the get-go. Because yeah, I find it as opposed to yeah, once I have that, I like the mixing process. At the very end, I don't have to do much because I was also already doing all these things while I was to go. For this, I'll just use saturator, Ableton. Peaking, just take it down. And then something else I'll do is, since both of these are low elements, what I'll do is I'll sidechain the bass to the kick, just so like each it doesn't get muddy and each has room to operate as its own. So what I'll do is add compressor, audio effects, this type of compressor. Oops. All right, so I've added the compression to the baseline, and the kick once the kick hits, the baseline should duck. Kick. I'm rising up the tempo a bit because this is what I do like on the go. I feel like this could be faster, this could be slower, so I usually just like go off feel. Like for this instant, I felt like it would make more sense if it was faster as opposed to like a low BPM, because with the bass line there's an anticipation. Like I felt like there's something I need to add, so I'll just pump up the BPM so to keep the energy going. That's a good start. So now I'll go into percussions, add an audio track, a MIDI track, and then I'll add my drums. This is Ableton's it's called drum programming. I feel like a hat was it? Yeah. Sounds decent. Same thing again, I'll saturate it. Again, this is just something I developed, is mixing on the go. And I didn't realize it was mixing on the go until like recently. So I just like tweaking my sounds as I'm doing it, and at the end it's basically just arranging. Something I can do is maybe add a bit of delay. Just to bring in that swing. And this is I'm using a send. So this is like Ableton stock send. Sounds decent, so I'll just stick with it. Next percussive element I'll add is a clap. I think it needs a clap. And also I use a lot of samples as well, because you can go granular into, if I'm not feeling like sound designy, I'll just use whatever I have, because all my sample packs, I don't just get any random one. I have to really like the sounds in there. And this is me auditioning sounds, and as the track is running, I'll just like be going through a lot of samples and saying, oh, that sounds like it it's supposed to be in this track. I might change this later, but yeah, just for to get the programming going. Saturate. It sounds weak-ish to me. So what I'll do is just like saturate the shit out of it, and hopefully it'll sound like more punchy. Or I'll use the drum bass. Try another simpler. What? Yeah, it sounds decent, very straight techno. And something I'm keen on, at least something I'm keen on whilst making techno is the drums. That's just like intrinsic. I'm very keen on drums. Like that's well spent like 90% of the time. And then I'll throw in maybe a vocal sample later on, or like more mid elements later on. Let's continue. Still on percussion. So I think I'll throw in a shaker sample as opposed to programming it. I can try programming it, but I think it'll be easier just so I can get to the other section faster as well. Shaker. Sounds decent, so we'll use that. And something I do is just like it was mentioned, I don't check the whatever the sample pack was made for. Like this one was for my piano, but I like the shaker. It also adds that African-ish element or feel. It's not very drum programming. I like the dance, the swing that's in it. So something I want to do is tame the transients. It's like just so they're shorter, and you can do that using on the bottom left this section over here. What I'll do is, where is it? Okay, so what I'll do is, there's another way to do this. I'll use the drum saturator stock Ableton plugin that I use, and it also has like an inbuilt transient shaper. Drum bus. Also, here's the transient shaper. So I'm trying to get the transients shorter. Yeah. So what I did is just make those. It's not as draggy as if it was like this. It's more, it's tighter. It's tighter this way. So right now I'm feeling like the clap and the shaker are fighting, just because they're prepared the same. Yeah, the clap is like more. just into the ear a bit, so I'll try and tame that either by transposing it so it's like a lower frequency using the transpose feature on Ableton's drum rack. Yeah, now it sounds cooler. I can also use the drum bus dampener just to kill some high elements. Same with the shaker, I can just try and not have that much high information going. So I'll change the pitch. Clap sounds weird now, so I'll try and maybe get back to where it was. Yeah. Cool. I'm feeling I can start going into like mid elements territory, just like synths, pads, something ominous, something dark. Yeah, for techno, that's like ideal. So try find something. What can I use? Piano. Instruments. Try to find. Yeah, use synth. You can try this. See how this sounds. Yeah, can work with that. Trying to navigate this thing. Just simple, something I personally have a pet peeve for is just simple melodies. They're catchy, they're memorable. I don't like getting too complicated. And yeah, so I think I might mess with it later on, but just for starters, yeah, I just usually find the most dumbed down like melody I can think of. And now I can just like try and get more experimental. Now that I have this, I can like add MIDI effects or just something random. I don't know what I want to get out of it, but I just like trying to experiment and get an interesting mid element as opposed to like basic or like a progression. I feel like it's cooler, at least for techno, more experimental. So I'll try, let's go MIDI effects, and what can I do? Just like something random. Expression control, if that's going to do anything. I'll use an arpeggiator. And just use like one note then. Arpeggiator to just like have some movement. right now it's on up, so I'll try this different stuff. I can try like up down. Let's see how that sounds. Up down, up down, up down, down up, down up, converge. I think that's cool. Very trancy. And this is from OneNote. So if you don't have any like technical key knowledge or like music theory, Arpeggiator is like a simple hack for techno, I feel. Let's take this down. Yeah. And now I'll just add a bunch of effects so to get something interesting off of it. Audio effects, I think a delay. Yeah, a good thing is to like try out presets, and then you can tweak them depending on how, if you're feeling the vibe or not. And now you can, so you can do that is on Ableton. There's this hot swap feature that you can allows you to just like audition a lot of effects. For Ableton, so there's this hot swap feature that allows you to, as opposed to if you were to drop just if you were to continue selecting but just like pile up, but this one allows you to like just switch them out. I like the this harmonics, very techno. Cool. I think I can add a counter melody or like accompaniment for that. Just find another synth. Instruments. I'll try collision. Yeah. Looking for a harsher sound. I think I'll just use this. Not harsh, but we can saturate it. Add some more just harmonics. That's cool. Yeah, so what I did is just added like just to break the monotony. Like, yeah, as you produce, like as a producer, I'd have one rolling pattern, and then I'd get tired of it and switch it out. And that's the balance you have to strike. Like if you're working on something for like 4 hours, you'll get tired of something and switch it out. So what I try to do is space myself. If I and I know if also it's a positive in terms of refinement, because if you're refining and you stick to this, you find this last idea you've gotten, and it's cool, you don't get tired of it. It translates like music-wise, people listen to your track a million times and still won't get tired of it, so to speak. Something along those lines. So that's my theory. Try find a pad. You know, I said I'm not that keen on mid elements because I like the bass and drums. I think that's like the most important elements for me, like how I make music. But for this track, I feel it would make sense for it to like have more mid elements or go in that direction. Maybe track all results. Yeah, just something cinematic. Can't really hear these. Yeah, it sounds cool. See if that works. Yeah. The bass might not be in the right key. I can't really tell because yeah, I don't have monitors, but it's off. It's off. I'll try to fix that. All right, so yeah, I won't go in that direction because it's like, yeah, I can't really do that with my limited hearing. Oh shit. I feel like the claps are slightly late and not. Yeah, I don't like the swing that it has. So what I usually do is just manually move until I get a nice, or I can check the actual sample. The sample's good, so I'll manually move the notes just to get a nice. Cool. All right. I feel drawing towards the end of the track. Like I might add. What else can I add? Yeah, I can add like more percussive elements. Like, I don't think you can go wrong as long as they're minimal. But this is something I'm happy with. So like six tracks, which is ideally for me what I don't have that many tracks as well. They would be sure that it wasn't like placing if I had one drum rack, so to speak, but I usually like laying them out just because I have more control. I can actually shape the sounds and yeah, level them better. I have more control this way. I can try add a snare or something. Can I have a time check? Adding reverb just so it's like sounds more epic and bigger. I think on modulate the how long it takes to cut off. So I'll just go to the sand. The delay. Like the ping pong effect, it's like nice ear candy, which is stuff you can throw in. Some people like actually find that interesting. Like how do they like someone who's a layman in terms of music would be like, whoa, what's that? Like, why am I hearing it like bouncing? So that's like something you can throw in. And finally, to wrap it up, I think I'll throw in a ride, which is like quintessential. Right. So this would be the final thing, and then yeah, this would be, yeah, I'll take questions after this. A nice ride. Actually want to program the ride, so I won't use a loop. Because yeah, that's how that's how I roll. That's how I roll. Like I feel dirty sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can use a loop, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, like you're a producer, do it. Yeah, vengeance. Also have vengeance. Yes, some nice rides in here. So now I'll audition the rides. Like that one. I can try transpose it to see how it sounds. Yep, sounds cool. What I also do is duplicate and have like 2 simultaneous rides, just like different transpositions. It's phasing, so what I'll do here, just like I can use the original. So I have like a low ride and high ride that I can either use together or just for like more dynamicism in the track, I can switch them out. But they sound cool together, which is something that I usually, from the get-go, at least from session view, I can do. And now just like leveling them, since the same sound, I'll have to like bring one either or both down. Depending on what I want to be dominant. So I want the high one to be dominant, so I'll just bring down. All right, I'm happy with that. I've gotten to how many tracks? 9. Is it more? Yeah, that's this is a good. clap can use saturation, and also I think some delay would tie it all together. But this is like I thought I've highlighted it off because I'm finding it's like it sounds off to me, so I might have to revisit it. But the track without it sounds cool. I can either have the track without a clap, which is plausible. Which also I've done a lot. So yeah, this is the idea. So from this, I would arrange it. Thank you. Questions?
Excellent, thanks. Thanks for walking us through that. We can take questions from the live audience and the virtual audience. I think we can go with people who are joining online since we had questions from Central HQ last time. Anybody from Gather Town? Feel free to open your mic. Give me comments as well. It doesn't have to be a question.
No questions from my end.
Go ahead, She.
No, I was just saying no questions from my end. Thanks.
Okay. For me, I think it was interesting, like seeing the like understanding from the two perspectives. So with the arpeggiator, there's a definition you gave. Do you mind repeating that? Because I usually just like either tweak the style or read, but I'm not exactly sure what. I just like play with it, but not sure of the essence of it.
The arpeggiator.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the arpeggiator does is it plays some notes, or like what's the word, manipulates whatever MIDI information that you feed in. I'll just show it practically. So what it does is I think it's from like old tech that they used arpeggiators for techno tracks. So what it does, it just like, if I, let's say, let me find that channel. Is it this one? Is it this one? Or I'll just use a new one. So what it allows you to do is, just like if you have, it's useful for like if you don't have that much music knowledge, but you have like a sense of groove, so to speak, and it allows you, you don't have to carry the weight of trying to program like the note switches. It just like finds a nice rhythm for you, or you have to manipulate how you decide to use it. You just grab the arpeggiator. I don't know the physics or the math or the coding behind it, but I just know as a tool how it's practically useful in the context of techno with some MIDI effect. Yeah, arpeggiator. So what MIDI effects is basically they affect the MIDI. So for instance, if I have just solo this, if I were to draw for starters, let me just have one random note. So what the arpeggiator would be doing is basically, in essence, drawing notes for me. So it would be doing this. If it's up, down, it's going to be down, up. I mean, it's going to be down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And this is done just based off this one line that I've drawn, and it's just the algorithm that the arpeggiator will use. So let's say if I add in an arpeggiator, now if it's up, what it's gonna do is basically all the notes will just go, just find a synth, so it's easier. Instrument, analog, it's a bass. So just one. As you can hear, it's the style is set to up. So what this is doing is like it's if I was to draw it, it's basically the notes would just like it's going up. It's going up in an upward motion, so to speak. One
Mhm.
of my mouse is not cooperating, but yeah, it's basically just like doing this over and over again. And if I was to choose, let's say, my mouse there. Yeah, so if I was to choose the style as going up, down, like I said, it's gonna be in this format. It's gonna, from this one line, it's gonna draw this down, up, down, up, down, up. And if I was to choose, up and down, it will basically just be doing this. Up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So yeah, it's more of a groove tool that I can put it that way, and I like to incorporate that. So if I have I'm not feeling like drawing notes, I just like do this. Have one MIDI note that can be manipulated. So let's hear it. It's up and down. Yep. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, let me just finish from one there. And these are the easier ones. The up, down, down, up and down, down are basically just the movements the notes are going in. Not necessarily what key or like what no music theories type stuff, just like more groovy stuff. And these other algorithms are just like more complex. Then we can just like experiment with them and see what they give us. So to speak. Yeah, some are hard to hear, but basically they do some manipulation to the sound. I hope that makes it clear. Like, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, thanks for the presentation. I'm a big fan of the trees, as you know. Yeah,
I know.
have,
Thank you.
Yeah, a few questions with regard to EQing and what your thoughts are on that, because I noticed like instead of just EQing out annoying frequencies, you choose to like either transpose like the shakers down, up, or like you saturated it. And, yeah, so what are your thoughts on EQing? Because I tend to EQ. Some people argue that like kind of kills
Yeah, I think for me, in
Wait,
EQing.
Please,
Sorry,
do you mind reiterating the question?
Very well.
Repeating the question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so the question is what Budalagi's thoughts are on EQing, because some people argue that EQing kind of like kills some of the good frequencies. And I noticed that instead of EQing some of the things like the shakers, he chooses to like transpose them up and down and stuff. So what his thoughts are on EQing sound, and then maybe I'll ask the rest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for me, like when I choose to transpose as opposed to EQing the sound, in an essence, I'm EQing because I'm moving the frequency, or like I'm removing it from, if they're occupying the same frequency, I'll transpose it down. So this other element will like move. So basically, I've technically cut out this. I've technically shifted, or like they're not fighting for the same frequency space. So it's in essence it's EQing, but I'd go the route of EQing. I would do it if I feel like once I've transposed it and then I find like they're still fighting. Now that I'll use EQ and actually cut out the sound. But I think I'm of that opinion that once I hear a sample, I'm like, oh, I love it as it is. If I'm EQing it, then I'm changing it, and then I may end up disliking it. So I like to keep it as I found it, but then like what EQing is like the last thing I feel, because I feel like I feel like I'm cutting it, I'm making it thinner. It's not going to be as pronounced. But if I do EQ, I find myself like I'll also saturate it again, just because I feel like, oh shit, I've killed some harmonics, some content, and it's gonna sound thinner. So yeah, that's my take on it. Like I'd use EQ if it's not my first point of call, but to preserve just the original essence of the sample, so to speak. And I feel like it's not, you could argue that you're making the sample yours, which is something, if I want to go that direction, I will do it intentionally with, I want to make it, maybe it has the root note of the distinct note about it is what It's what is annoying me, so I'll just cut it out and essentially made it mine. So it is an option, but it's like a second or third option for me. Yeah. Another question.
Great. Another question. So I also like mix on the go, and so I wanted to ask. This is more like after, like say for example, if this was done, I noticed you started everything at -12 dB and just kept going with that. Do you monitor your master, and also once you're done, do you like bring your master down before now going into mastering, or do you just like straight away start mastering and just like keep an eye on the meter?
Yeah. So if in a certain project, because it varies for me, in a project I'll be like I won't do that initial dip in the something in the like the kick, but I find it safer, and I'm just like realizing as I've made a lot of tunes, like I'm like, why in the final master, like this sounds like, yeah, it doesn't sound as loud as a track where I initially started. So it's all about headroom. And what I realized was, yeah, just like comparing all these tracks, I like walked back, oh, what did I do differently in this? So what I realized is once I start like from -12 dB or like -18 dB, I have more headroom to play with. And because I had a lot of saturation, as you've noticed, and from in my initial productions, I was still adding saturation, but with less headroom. So once I bring the level down and I boost it, the saturation it doesn't get, the dynamic range doesn't go too, it's not like massive, it's like this tiny. And what I usually check is with the waveform, there's something called resampling. Let me show you guys. So what I do is, let's say for this one, I will, select resampling, and then I will monitor in, it, audio from, I haven't used it in a minute. I used it once, but it's something I get keen on. It's basically I like to check the health level of the wavelength. So if it's like massive, I'm like, okay, I need to reduce the dynamic range and make it at least make it so where the loudest and the lowest sound are not that are not that, there's no huge difference between that. And I find like once you use that perspective, once you go into mastering, was like a mixing on the go. Once I go into mastering, like I can just like expand it. It's basically making it louder, and it still has that dynamic range. Like I have a visual reference for like healthy waveforms and like waveforms where I find like, oh, it's sausage, which a lot of my tracks are. But it's the trade-off. If you want to like make club tracks, I'll get keen on it later on. But for me, it's more about the creation. I'm not a mix or mastering engineer. So if I do my producing job, great. Eventually I'll find someone to do that stuff. But I just find a nice balance between the loud and the minimum. That's a good point. So if it's like 12, my loudest element would be 12, my lowest element might be at 30. And I feel like that's a good reference point. So that's like my logic behind it, and it makes for great masters that I'm starting to notice. Yeah.
Maybe we can take one or two more questions before I pass it back to Monrea for concluding remarks and maybe assignments. We're getting homework. I don't know. Any other questions before we wrap things up?
No, just wanted to say thank you. It was super interesting. I'm pretty new or unexperienced with production, so that's why just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know if Marshall is still here, but yeah, it's great to have both BUDALAGI and Marshall. For me personally, it was really instructive. I hope it was for everyone else as well. Monrea, do you want to take us out?
Yeah. So before I do that, just to recap for this session. So the elements you used were, so you said you mainly have, or rather focus on the drums, where you'd have the kicks, percussive elements like claps, shakers, snares, and right? And then you have the bass, and then pads, at least for this demonstration, yeah?
yeah, like my priority list is usually the drums, and then bass drums. They oscillate, but usually bass drums, and then I'll go to the more mid elements. But like my tracks, I can live with them not having like pianos and stuff and synths, because I like it's just like a African, like it's usually drums and chants, and I love that. I dig that.
Okay, nice. Thank you.